Hey everybody, if you've seen my videos, you know that one of the biggest problems I have with paintball now is how regulars get treated versus how renters and new players get treated, and basically how regulars are often given carte blanche to do what they want at the expense of the renters, which first is just stupid business because the vast majority of business at a given field comes from renters. But also, it's just bad form for the experienced people in anything to take advantage of the inexperienced people in that thing, whatever it is, whatever hobby, sport, field, whatever. It's just bad to do that. You shouldn't do that. And I have a couple videos where, I basically call people out on this. I show situations where this happened or what I did in these situations. And I think I also have an obligation here, because I'm doing that, to show the other side of the coin. So I'm going to tell you very briefly about what happened at a game I played on November 24th, 2013. It was a scenario game at Long Live Paintball in Monroe Township, New Jersey. The game was a kind of DEA versus cartel theme. There were 4 factions in the game. It was, on one side you had the DEA and Delta Force, and on the other side was the cartel and MS-13, I think, were the two groups. That particular day was super cold and windy. It was, the high was like 35 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was super windy, so it was not an ideal day to play paintball. It was very nice and sunny, though. So there weren't that many people in the game. It was only about 80 people total, which worked really well for the size and layout of the field, actually. So with 80 people, you had about 20 people on each of these factions, and each side then had 40, so about 40 on 40, big game. And in the first round of this big game, the cartel MS-13 side fairly easily took over the field from the Delta DEA side in, if I had to guess, it probably took about an hour. It wasn't a complete, 20 minutes the game's over, but it was a fairly significant win. So in the dead zone between these rounds, the game organizer actually had everyone kind of reconvene for another safety briefing, and he actually had a notebook. At the beginning of the day, he was writing down everyone's name as they were assigned to a team, so he had a list of everybody on each team. I believe it was Rooster was the guy who was kind of organizing everything. So in between rounds, he'd heard that some people were leaving and such, so he actually went down every name and called out every name, basically took attendance to see who was still there to play the next round. And then when it turns out one team had lost a bunch of people, he moved a few people from one team to another to make sure that the side stayed even. This is exactly the kind of thing that fields should be doing all of the time. This is particularly important at big game scenarios where you have 80, 100, 200 or more players, because if one side does get depleted or discouraged, it's really easy for the other side to control 90% of the field. And then one side is getting stomped, so they're not having fun. The other side is bored, so they're not having fun. So the game is kind of a failure. But this is also the exact thing that refs should be doing every day during walk-on ball. Between every game, refs should be assessing who's there, who's not, and balancing the teams as necessary. So I just wanted to share this one instance because I talk a lot about what people do wrong, but this is an instance of a field and a game organizer doing it exactly right. So good on you, Long Live Paintball and Rooster. Keep up the great work. Other fields, pay attention, take notes. This is what you should be doing. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you soon.